With us tonight, folks, we in the ring. A very good evening to each and every one of you. Of course, we trust that you guys are great. We trust that you guys are well. Wherever you all are joining us from this evening, welcome, welcome in the ring, good folks. It's another night, another program, another week. Folks, it's the 24th day of July already. We're watching payday. If payday has not passed already, good folks, we outside here and we watching payday. I'm begging you all, don't let it come wrong as funny. There's a very serious time, a very dangerous time for people. People are not mixing and meddling with issues. Come right or it's trouble. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button for us and come. Let's go, let's go, let's go, good folks. We want to see you, folks. Share the live, smash that emoji button. We're a little different environment this evening because y'all know we foreign. We foreign. And we're bringing back chocolate for everybody. You know that. Things coming, things there. That's what I'm telling y'all. Things there. Y'all look, folks, things there, things there, things there, things there. Say not another word. Things there. Chocolate coming. Everybody get in. We foreign folks. we foreign. We foreign now. Say not another word. Wherever you're joining the broadcast from, share the live, guys. Smash that emoji button. How y'all are doing, folks? How y'all are doing? We're ensuring at our end that we share the live as well, that we smash that emoji button. We got a couple of things to share with you, folks. Good to see so many of you joining us already. We're ensuring that we're sharing. Then we can give some folks a shout out. Let me see who we got with us this evening, guys. We're so happy. We're so happy to have each and every one of you. Patricia Wren Cheeseman, she'd about. Good to have you, Patricia. Beryl Crawford is here as well. And I see we got Angela Jordan says, peace and power. And Donette George. Donette, thanks for that contribution. Donette has made a contribution on our YouTube page. You know, once you're on our YouTube channel, folks, and you go to the bottom of the comment section, you will see a dollar sign there. Folks, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. You know, when we started, we used to say, give $5 or $10. But you know, some of you call us and say, don't insult us like that. Don't $5 for such a quality program. So we take it off. The sky is the limit. Good to see you, Wilton Blue and Mikey Mike. Before in Mikey Mike. Mike said we gone up. Don Baines and Lester and Michelle Cox Orma. And I see Paulette here too as well. We gone up, folks. We gone up. We got to be foreign. We foreign. I bust the door with my fancy card like a credit card. I said, Obia, this one from Guadeloupe. The door opened without any hesitation. I said, look, story here now. Look, story here now. Folks, you know, we showed some of you this morning where we are and how we got here. We're going to show you guys as well because we know some of you may have missed it. And some of you all fast anyhow. So nice. You might want to see it twice. If you see y'all, boy, if you see where they throw me, if you see where they lash me down, gone up. VIP things, who vex? We outside, it's we time now. We outside for summer, folks. Well, inside tonight a little bit. Inside tonight a little bit. If you see where they throw me down, if they see where they throw me down, real nice. Real nice, real nice. Dolores, Denny, and Hollis Landon, and all you folks joining us. Fiona is here with us too, and I see Don, and good to have you here. And I believe Carletta is watching us too. Carletta, good to see you. Emily Durant, pace and power, Carletta, pace and power. Asquith Short is here, and Ingrid King. Folks, share the life, the man. Y'all see discussing every day is the one thing, hard, dear children. Every day is the one thing, folks. We are delighted and happy that you folks are here with us. Share that life. Rasta man, good to see you. Wherever you folks are joining us from, rock and come in tonight. Happy to be delighted as you all are here. Ringing the bell for some of you. Ringing that bell for some of you. Rena, Bisundayal, and Gil Ali Cock. I see Lyndon Charles is here, and Karen, and Joy Lynn. I see Clement Dianjo is here. Paul Clement Dianjo, and Jamal Aziz, Yvette Moore, and all the usual suspects here with us, folks. Pace and power. We don't know about you folks, but we're fired up at this end, and we are ready to go. How is your show, folks? I want too much thing change up. You know, it's a couple of days I hear. It's a couple of days. I ain't want things change up too much. Right? You all hold them at bay, the trench crappos and the jagabats. I got to say with me right here. Hold them at bay, folks. Hold them at bay. Please and thank you. If you can change the situation for the positive, hold them at bay. Reinforcement coming. Kim Walker, good to see you. Kim said, ring the damn bell, but Kim, you need to say it twice. If it's a little low, apologies. We have to improvise. We have to improvise, good folks, but good to have you guys here as well. I see some of you are watching the chair at the back, the light, the counter, everything. That's how y'all fast. I can show the whole thing just now. I can show the whole thing. You don't peep. I know y'all stay ready. I can show you all the whole thing. Folks, smash that emoji button, man. I'll show you guys why I had a show for you. I didn't take any chances. I didn't check in chances. Folks, they say it wasn't for bad luck. You have no luck at all. I didn't take in chances at all. The last time, well, I don't know if it was the last time I flew overseas. Both times, I missed the flight. It was my fault too. It was my fault too. The second time going back home, I ain't bother with what do you call it? The travel agent and all. I just buy ticket on the spot. I label. I just vex. I look back at that. I just want the pressure come down. That's all I was looking at. Pressure come down. In that moment, folks, when I missed the flight the second time, pressure check one. Savannah Page, good to see you. And Volme, Wayne Brown. Wayne Brown side done for you. I'll be like, Wayne, man. When last you all travel, folks? Wheels up. When last you all travel? We hope you got someplace planned for summer, folks. I've been inside too long. I think it's 2 years. I've been inside, lock up and lock down. Stop it. You see? We big. we big. We bigger, we got get sense. Julian Mars and Hollis and Gil Ali Cock, Merlin and Jolly. When last y'all take a little travel, man? Oh, shucks. Some people live in Georgetown the whole life. They never went Bobby's, never went to Linden, never went Aichuli. Come on, folks. Come on. You got a lot of tours happening within Guyana. Tourism, internal tourism. Oh, man. Oh. Always just walking there, stop it. Folks, it's so good to be here with you guys. So good to be here with you guys after a full day, folks. Attending a conference. I'm here for the, I'm going to call it better just now. I got to get a notation. I want to make a mess of it. I don't want to make a mess of it, folks. But we outside. Let's touch on a couple of things as we begin tonight, good folks. As we begin, you're not going to see everything as we do normally, folks, but we try to make it as much as possible so you can benefit from the information nonetheless. Enid, good to see you. And Quadamingo, Michael Reed, good to see you as well. Kalada, good to see you. I see you there. Don't laugh. Don't duck. I see you, Kalada. I see you. Don't duck. I see Shirley Withers is here as well. I see June Griffith is here, and Alberta Marsh, and all the other beautiful, fantastic folks joining us. Guys, we're so happy that you folks are here with us. We got the fight card set. Who vex? We got the fight card set. Who vex? It's only some of y'all missing. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji, but we're about to take off. When we take off, we're stopping. We're not stopping. Good folks, the fight card, we can touch on some what's happening in Israel. I got a little dictatorship brewing there, man. Y'all following Israel, folks? And I got a little dictatorship brewing in Israel. And then, folks, this weed thing, this ganja, this marijuana, this high grade, Cash Grant still shared. I thought they shared everything. And there's only one set. People get, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Share the damn live, good folks. Smash that emoji button for us. Please and thank you. Folks, share the live. Smash that emoji button for us. And we got a little way to go. We got a little way to go, folks. We got a little way to go, and we hope that you guys help us to get there. We hope that you guys help us to get there. Good to see each and every one of you from the myriad places that you're joining us from, guys. We are so delighted that y'all are here with us. Y'all fired up? We ready to go? Trying to get it better, but I don't know. Everything is not going to take how it used to take and so on. But we're going, folks. We're going. All right? Everything is not going to take how it used to take. But we're going down the road, folks. So we're covering some of the cash grab in China. Tragedy all over the world. The chicken problems home. Chicken problems way all there. Yeah, chicken problems. I didn't think I had chicken. I had some lovely, what call it? I had a lovely pork burger, beautifully done. It's only because I love y'all coming back, Only because you got to fight the jagabats, the trench crappos, the tadpoles, and the cricketers. We coming back, good folks. It's only because of that. You see, I can't leave y'all alone for fending for yourself. Can't leave you beautiful, wonderful folks alone to fend for yourself. So coming back. But the food ain't real nice. The food, they got lovely peas rice. I think some people it's called it cook-up, and some other places call it pilau, and so on. But they all buy, we dead there, we outside, we out, more than we inside. Don't come in these parts and they house up, house up, house up, house up. No, no, no. No, no, no. We legally tender for any amount. Any amount we ask people to go and come. No, nonsense. Nonsense, folks. So we got a couple of things we're covering, folks, this evening. We're happy you're here with us. If you know our broadcast, you know we're going next, folks. We got the opener. We got the opener set. We got the opener set. Beautiful, wonderful folks. I want to advise you. We got the opener set. And you know, we were listening to the mayor-elect of the township of Linden. Have they been sworn in yet, good folks? Do let us know if the beautiful people there have been sworn in as yet. We've been following what's been happening, and they had a recent commemoration, I think, of the victims of, was that 2012? You had that massive protest there, and they installed, since then they installed, PPP, government and regime, shot those young people. And so recently we saw the one and only Mayor-elect Sharma Solomon. Have they sworn them in as yet? Has Irfan found the time to give them their instruments? Have they been sworn in yet? Mayor-elect, Mayor of Linden, Sharma Rahim Solomon. We saw him recently, folks, talking about some of those issues as they were memorializing the dead. That's the word I was looking for. Memorializing the dead. You got up your language sometime, the language is about, the law. Told you all many times. Professor told me, the law is about language and logic. You gotta love language. Memorializing the dead. That's where we saw Sharma Solomon recently. Folks, we touched base with him. He had quite a few things to say, folks, and that's the opener this evening. Take a look and take a listen.
Indeed. Thank you, Master Ceremonies. And let me recognize Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Aubrey Norton, Regional Chairman, Mr. Darren Adams, Member of Parliament, Mr. Jermaine Figueroa, and Mr. Devin Sears, our Deputy Mayor-elect, Mr. Dominic Blair, councillors of the RDC and the MNTC, and to all you distinguished invitees. But I always take the time to give a special recognition to the families of those who were murdered, and to also many times as we recognize those individuals, we overlook the many who were injured. So this afternoon I want to also recognize each and every one of you who 11 years ago, not only as those names that I mentioned, but as a community who witnessed the most senseless act in one of maybe our country's history that should be not forgotten. Because in forgetting such occurrences, we run the risk of allowing governments to continue to take advantage of their citizens. So this is what, for me, this commemoration represents. And as I recognize and acknowledge those names before, I ask in that acknowledgement that as Lindeners, we pay keen attention to never forget the importance of this very important event. But over the years, 11 years, we have spoken of several issues, or we can call them themes of this event. And I heard former Councillor Sampson spoke about the actual electricity tariffs and the matter as it relates to the increase of electricity. That becomes one of the themes that we spoke many times over the 11 years about. What are the other themes we spoke about? We talk about justice, and to ensure that not only the families but this entire community gets the justice that it deserves. What are the other themes we spoke about? We spoke about human rights. We spoke about fundamental rights of the fact that Article 13 was overlooked and it did not allow you the right to be involved in the decision-making process. Some more themes we talk about. We spoke about John Locke. And we talk about governments and social contract. And if governments don't work for you, what sort of action or actions must be taken by people or citizens? I'm giving you all of these themes and many more so that you can appreciate that even after 11 years, you will never run out of talking points on this very important event. But it is for us to ensure that as we look at the event, we recognize those very fundamental, ideological, and philosophical themes that shape for us the appropriate message of what the 18th of July means for us. Because it is we who must tell that story in this community. Because it is we who in this community benefited and continue to benefit. And it is we in this community who suffered and continue to suffer. But what did we in this community acquire? Linden, 11 years on, former Councillor Sampson alluded to benefits that we have gotten. But what have we done with those benefits? We produce and maintain the production of the cheapest electricity in Guyana. It is the most reliable and stable electricity in Guyana. What does that mean for you, Linden? It meant that when we went out to ensure the 21st of August agreement was signed, and I want to recognize those who signed that agreement, those who were in the room, including now leader of the opposition, Mr. Norton, Ms. Kisoon. We had help from persons like late Haslin Paris. We had Mr. Gonzalez, our own dear brother Nigel Hughes. We had Rupert Narain. Those were some of the people who were in that room to ensure that the 21st of August, the most fundamental thing captured in that agreement was that you people will not suffer anymore. And we halted, in fact, not only halted, but reversed, because we must recognize that the electricity rates were already increased. So that agreement reversed that fundamental and principal issue of why we protested, which was electricity, and we benefited. So I'm encouraging you today, Linden, not only in this newfound position that we were elected to serve you with, but as a commitment as a Lindener, that we must make much more use of the sacrifices of those three men and those who suffered and continue to suffer because of a ruthless state to put down a peaceful protest. So I want to encourage you about that. But as we encourage ourselves, let me remind you of the families that continue to suffer. And there's a particular point I want to note in this presentation of the suffering families. And that is to do with the issue of compensation. And why is that more dear and near now? Because we see people are getting bought off for $5 million. So understand 11 years ago, when a commission of inquiry said that we must hold the state responsible for having snipers up on those rooftops, and then held the state responsible for killing 3 of our brothers, and further encouraged the state to pay compensation, I want to say to Guyanese today, what we saw as sufferings of Linden 11 years ago now return to the suffering of the average Guyanese, in particular our brothers and sisters in Madia. That is what we must remember as Guyanese, that the issue of compensation now comes full circle as Guyanese look to those 20 lives that were lost in that fire, and to see if those who will be held responsible for those lives are ducking culpability by paying a quick $5 million. Where did we hear that before? We heard that when they were paying a quick $2 million and a quick $1 million to Ron, Alan, and Shemroy. But they were held to a higher standard and they paid more. The government before, or the government recently, said that they must pay $79 million more. The state agreed to that. Any one of you believe there is a price for life? Ask the residents at Madia. What does $5 million mean for a life? Ask our brothers and sisters who are sitting in the front row. What does $3 and $4 million mean for a life? 11 years on, they will tell you absolutely nothing. I want the brothers and sisters in Madia to relate that 11 years on from now, that will bring them no solace or peace. It is an issue that must be discussed. It is a matter that highlighted itself in the 18th of July. It is a matter that is repeating itself of the justice this family must get and so deserve, especially in the issue of compensation. And that for me becomes 2023 reflection as we look to the 18th of July, to further encourage that we properly compensate these families and to encourage Guyana that we never know when the next 11 years may come and you may be begging for your compensation. So I want to encourage you that we must be our brother's keeper across Guyana, but more so in Linden. Let us stand behind the families. The government and the state have already reckoned with them for $79 million. Let us ensure that they get that which they truly deserve. Thank you very much.
Don't let a buyout for a box of cook up on 5,000 or 5 million or 25 million. Don't let it do it. A box of cook up can't do it, folks. A box of cook up can do it. We're happy to have all of you guys with us this evening. For those of you who joined us, it's been a different location tonight. Lowina, man. We got to stick up one place all the time. Life is about change. The great philosopher said the only constant in life is change. That, folks, that you can depend on. Change. Everything changes. So we outside a little bit now. It's summer. Please. We got to lift the complexion a little bit. Get me vitamin D. Or is C or is E. It's just what you get from the sun. It's D now. So, folks, you know, a lot of you fast. Whole pack of you joining us on Facebook. 2,300 of you joining us on Facebook right now. 3,500 of you joining us across social media. About, let's see, 800, 1,000 of you on YouTube alone. Don't just step on YouTube. You see the dollar sign in the bottom of the comment section here on YouTube. Make use of it. make use of it, folks. So let us show you, where we are and how we got here. Where we are and how we got here. Folks, take a look and take a listen, because we know some of y'all fast, like Chandel King, Asquith, Leon, Basil, Sharon, and Abiola. We know y'all fast. Y'all want to know everything. Y'all want ball by ball commentary. Folks, if I give y'all ball by ball commentary, I want to tell people conference. Capacity build as a parliamentarian and all of that, and make my contribution. So y'all got to take it little bit by little bit in doses. And I ain't want you to collect neither. Folks, I see some of them price on the flight. You got to pay for your bags now. One bag you got checking in. You got to pay for it. People get a whole menu. So if you see them prices, I regret I didn't pack my little cook up. You see? I regret I didn't pack my little cook up. I could feel the whole plane. Some little crunchy thing of food. If you see the prices, US too. You see? I better get a card. You see? But I had to shave it. I got my card just in case it didn't walk in. But good folks, look at where we are and how we got here, and look at where we are. Good folks, take a look. I know some of y'all fast, man. Oh, shucks. Share the life, man. We have to beg y'all. Smash the emoji button, man. I was going to do the evening show on Friday, but I decided to leave for the airport early. Because y'all know with me luck, I missed the flight again. Last year, I missed the flight twice. Going and coming, not me this time, so I left early. The taxi driver, he was the best. I can't lie. I see he was quietly efficient. He didn't speak until he was spoken to. You hear me? The man didn't say a word unless he asked you a question. And after a hard day, I didn't mind at all the quietude. We going good. Next thing is bear traffic by Diamond. Bear traffic. Come on, Bishop. This man is into a lot of spirits these days. Make it right here. Make it right, Robson. Come on. Who got responsibility for this traffic? Make it right. Got to the airport on time nonetheless. But was too tired for a line. Them boys like talking at the VIP. It's a good thing I didn't knock down the little coffee in there though. And bought a little food in the airport. Cause I sleep away and miss dinner on board. But the flight to New York, it seemed quick. You see? The captain like he foot heavy. And the landing was like butter. The man eating. You know eating. I was tempted many times to say, waiter, waiter. To signal the cabin attendant. But y'all know y'all ain't got the luck. I ain't got my luck. Be through JFK and on that JetBlue flight bound for the Turks and Caicos Providenciales of Islands. JetBlue food had a price though. As I watched them sideways long.
Weather for it looks nice. Light winds, good visibility, just some scattered clouds. Temperature right now 88 degrees Fahrenheit. We certainly thank you for flying with us here at JetBlue. If there's anything else we can do for you today, please let us know. Thank you.
3 hours later, we on the ground. What ups? Well, if you see where the show, I'll buy. I can make a mess of the hot water. And the pool? Huh? We outside today. Folks, I'm going through some of that comments. And some of y'all are easy, you know. I going through some of them comments. And y'all easy. Waiter. Folks, you by mind. How much time I say waiter? You by mind. You know how many times? You know how many times I say waiter? Y'all want to make fun. Big cartoon news, huh? Y'all know the Chronicle quickly to put me up. Quick. The Chronicle. Waiter, how many times? You ever see the prices, boy? If you see them prices, folks, good folks, let's get on with it. we got a far way to go. Good people, let's get on with it. We got lots to cover, folks. That was the opener. That wasn't the opener. The opener was before that. Sharma Rahim Solomon was talking to us about the history, folks, of those marchers, the Linden marchers who lost their lives so senselessly. My God. How can we ever trust this installed regime? How? Don't let me do it. Don't let me do it, good folks. Don't let me do it at all. And folks, moving on from there, let's cover some of what we're tracking around the world this evening, good folks. Some of what we're tracking. You see in Israel, it's bare purgatory and confusion powder in Israel. Folks, they passed a legislation today. I do like Netanyahu getting a little PPPS. Like Netanyahu getting a little PPPS. They passed a piece of legislation today so that the courts can't inquire into certain things that are happening in the government, cannot judicial review. Watch the PPP. Everything bad is copy. Everything bad is copy. The Israelis ain't having it. It's protest like that. It protests like first time. Now that's some of what we're covering, folks. They got some stuff happening in China too. But Professor Shabir Ali got it back channels. They got it back channels. But let us tell you this. In China today, folks, His pocketry around the world, you know, be strong for the PPP. That's what look take it strong. A roof caved in a school gym in China. 11 persons were killed. You know, up to when we were coming on here, we couldn't get a sense how many of them were students and if they had faculty members and so forth. 11 person, the roof of the gym caved in. Caved in. There was some other stuff happening politically in China as well. And we're going to leave that to Professor and the back channels. But our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those who lost a loved one there, folks, in China today with that caved in roof. That's somewhat we're following, folks. Somewhat we're following. Look what else we're following. The back channels, I tell you. Professor Shamir Ali, he got the back channels, folks. He got the back channels. Take a look and take a listen.
To listeners, and I'm delighted this is my 19th program to be in the ring with credible information. Today is Monday, the 24th of July, and our president, Irfan Ali, is passing through New York on his way to China. A few days ago, the foreign secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was in China. A couple of weeks ago, the ambassador of China of Guyana in China was in the news about her missing integrity report. I happen to know that ambassador. She's a Foreign Services officer, and she was the Foreign Affairs representative at the Go Invest board, where I served as the deputy chair. So those are some in the news. But what might not be known by many, there is an experienced Guyana ambassador who is an advisor, high advisor to China. And China is in the Guyana media regularly. So I decided to reach out to my very high back channel to find out what's going on in China. Well, with all due respect, I wish the president of Guyana had a better time to visit, because right now it is not one of the good times, especially with the billions, multi-billions of American Exxon investments in Guyana. Well, I learned that there is a gloominess in China on the economy. There is zero inflation, and the sluggish economy is in all areas. There's a major slowdown in China. There's a weak domestic demand. That means the Chinese themselves are not buying. Investors' confidence has dropped, and there's weak export. That means nobody is buying. China and the USA relationship are at the lowest ever. And private companies are also leaving China at this time. What was a little bit surprising to me is that after COVID, the Chinese economies have not expanded and Chinese are not spending. Many have lost jobs. They've lost their homes. They've had pay cuts. Huge, I'm told, huge income decline. Many of them, Chinese persons, had cars they bought, huge debts they are unable to pay. They used to be traveling a lot. This has reduced. And they were the heaviest spender of luxury items. Louis Vuitton, Prada, Bruno Magli, Biblos, Armani, all the above. They were the number one purchaser. All that has stopped. Less marriages by Chinese mean less money spending, less children, less babies. There is hopelessness in the entire country. My biggest surprise is I expected unemployment 10, 12%. Nope, it is 21%. Repeat, and this is very, very reliable information, 21% unemployment. So there's a pause on the future. That is what is happening down. And you know, when the US economy is in bad shape, the world suffers, and China is right up there. The world will find the ripple effects. 4 days ago, in Kuwait, I learned relationships are very, very important. Well, 4 days ago, I hope you can see that picture. That is Henry Kissinger in Peking with the president of China. Just a few days ago from Washington, there were top officers. The Secretary of State was there. The Secretary of the Army was there. The Secretary of the Navy was there. The Defense Secretary was there. The National Security Advisor was in China. And Secretary Yellen with the monies, she was in China. And I'm told nothing much has been accomplished. So it appears that the smarty pants in Washington are using the relationships, back to relationships, not position power, and they now reach out to Henry Kissinger, 100 years old. He visited there last on 21st to the 28th of February in 1972. 51 years ago, Henry Kissinger was in Beijing with President Nixon, and that became the opening up of China to the Western world. So that is some of the headache. My biggest surprise was on Taiwan. I'm told that the Chinese government is waiting for politics and a more supportive Taiwanese leader that can merge Taiwan, create merge, just like how in CARICOM we have all the nations merged together. By next year, there'll be freedom of movement of people. All borders will be open. Similarly, China is hoping on the soft power that a leader will emerge in Taiwan that will make Taiwan and China into one economic and social and union. So there wouldn't be. The alternative is China do want Taiwan, and efforts are being placed logistically for that decision. The decision has been made that Taiwan will be part of China, whether it's through an invasion, whether it's through a union, time will tell. So they have two tracks on Taiwan. So I hope our president from Guyana is smart. He is in a sticky wicket. I hope he was smart enough to have the advisors to tell him this was not a good time after all the visits from the US. He must have his lobbyists from Washington and back channels to advise him. But let's wish him well and wish well for Guyana. But the truth is the truth. And hopefully we'll all have a better day with some better leaders. We need some smarter leaders who don't have the positions to the head and operate for one Guyana rather than operating selfishly like a blind bat in a room, or a blind bar team is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening and a better day tomorrow to you and your families. Good night.
We love us some Professor Shamir Ali, who always got it back channels for us, folks. Always got it back channels. Don't go no place. Don't go no place, folks. We're going to be joined by the one and only Roysdale Ford. And again, that was Professor Shamir Ali with the back channels. Look at some of what else we're covering, folks. Some of the stuff we're picking up from around the region very quickly because we want to come home. We want to come home. You know, when you go and spend time and then tragedy strikes, that can be so heartbreaking because it's old house on top of old house. Old house on top of old house. You know, some folks tell us, Guyanese who living here in the Turks and Caicos Islands, that if you die here as a Guyanese and you want to take the body home, It takes 2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months. Yep. And that is what some of what we saw, folks, because tragedy struck quite recently. Quite recently. And I think this was a man who lost his life. Such a sad situation. A man who lost his life, in the Cayman Islands quite recently. He was visiting 55-year-old young. Young as you get older, you recognize how 55 is young, right? Don't come around us like that. The place called West Bay. And even though he was given CPR, he spent 2 days in hospital and succumbed. This is in the Cayman Islands. And I spoke with some of the representatives here from the Cayman Islands. They're part of this conference. You all buy their act. This is for the 5th annual conference of the Caribbean, Americas, and Atlantic region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Spoke with some folks from the Cayman Islands. Matter of fact, I had a great conversation with the speaker, a much better speaker than the one we have from Cayman from the Cayman Islands. Who vex? Yep. Thoughts and prayers go out to them. You go to vacation somewhere and you don't come up. You went in the water, you don't come up. That was the reality there for that gentleman who was vacationing in the Cayman Islands, of course, in the 592. And some of you all know this much better than I do because I did a little far now. But coming up, folks, we're talking with the senior counsel, Roysdale Ford, and some issues of Madia. And you see the Darmal issue that refused to go away. We can talk about that too. Share the live, smash the emoji button, folks, and let me go down the road. Folks, I want y'all know this marijuana thing and ganja thing getting out of hand. I mean, we try to up the recreational usage and so on. But we see them boys, and it's not the usual suspects, You see this stereotyping things. We like to stereotype people. You better stop that thing. Right? You'll be surprised to see the kind of people who, pushing some big amounts of marijuana. Who no, stop stereotyping people. People breaking free of all of those stereotypes. All of 17 million in marijuana found in Albistown, Tiger Bay, Crabwood Creek. 17. Just shock some of y'all. $17 million, folks. 17 million. That's the street value they tell us of this marijuana now. You think that's all this recreation? It's so much problems we got as Guyanese, people trying to get away from, Officers, they tell us here in this report from the Customs and Anti-Narcotic Unit, this is the CANU, found several packages of cannabis amounting to 57.6 kilogram or 127 pounds, according to this report, see the maths up, don't blame me, in the vicinity of Sedam, Crabwood Creek, Region 6. And I've been tracking this, we've been tracking this, a lot of marijuana coming from this region. All of a sudden, you see, like cane growing like it used to, them by diversifying. Rice and growing like it used to, them by diversifying. 57 million, that's what they're telling us. 57 million in marijuana, high grade, from the Crabwood Creek. Is who shipping that? Is it a Rastafari? Brothers and sisters, here they are, Ja, Rastafari. Stop the stereotyping. Get us in problems. It's been very, very divisive to us. Crabwood Creek, tell us not the Rastas. 57 million. You gotta watch that. Some of the other stuff we're following, folks. Robbery. Oh, Robeson. When last y'all see Robeson and Frank Anthony, they go into these long period of absences of recent. And you might be tempted to say, that's why you don't put big people in certain positions. But we big. But we impagly, right? We're not geriatrics. Some of them, you just got to consign them to the Palms one time. And that's to give the Palms a bad name. That is to give the Palms a bad name. So this fellow here has found himself on the wrong side of the law. Right? Wrong side of the law. You'll say if no in this country now, that's the surprising thing. This is Region 1. Taxi driver robbed 2 persons, 2 hotel singers at Providence. The whole in Region 1. Right? Whole in Region 1. Where can you go? How much money do you think singers in this country earning? Singers in Guyana earning? You think this is Beyonce? Oh, people struggling, catching the tail, and you coming and adding to the burden. Don't do it. That's so foolish. That is so foolish. You can add to the burden too? Come on, guys. Come on. Who's sharing their life for us tonight? Who can smash that emoji button? We got to stop this nonsense. Please and thank you. When we buy them by section now. We buy them boys section. Apologies there. We buy them boys section. We trying to give you an eye turn. They said the last of the cash grants given out on Thursday. Friends, family, and favorites, of course. Friends, I gotta give out everything. This government is so inefficient. You see some government operates in some places. They make me look like nothing. They make me look like nothing. You know, this country doesn't have a large population. They tell us Turks and Caicos Islands got about 30,000 persons. Montserrat is even smaller. Montserrat got about 4,000 people. But 30,000 people. You should see the opposition government. Different policy, but working hand in hand. The opposition leader comes in. You know, we're accustomed, the people in government have to speak last. The opposition leader speaking last. You should see the camaraderie with these folks. You know, the bitterness and rancor. The food nice, the politics looking attractive too. Be so bitter and divisive. Stop it, PPP. Stop it. Opposition leader comes in. He get a front row seat. Prime real estate. He ain't wicked. People here wicked like some of them we got to deal with. These jagabats and trench crappers we got to deal with. Every little way they try to stifle you. Every little way they try to get some political mileage and dominate everything. So this here now, his friend, family, and favorite. Our Guyanese brothers and sisters deserve whatever the state is offering. It's not Freedom House money, it's taxpayers' money. Whatever the state is offering, we're entitled to it. You see, some of you still holding the pink slip. So don't know we can get no cash grantee. Still holding the pink slip. And I took you guys to Parica, where some indigenous brothers and sisters have come to reside because things are hard with it there. They're rather squat in Parica. They said cash grant and reach them yet. COVID cash grant and reach them yet. Flood cash grant and meet them yet. It's 2 Guyanas we got, or many Guyanas, like many waters, many Guyanas. Well, let's say the next tranche of the cash grant is being distributed on Thursday. Y'all keep going just in case I can come back in time. Keep me, just in case. Well, he dominated now. He in everything. He in everything. Y'all hear Professor said that he's off to China. You heard Professor tell us that? But he's telling us now he's going to support the Emancipation Day activity. It's not just about support. Support it properly. Support it properly. They give him $5 billion here now and throw it over the shoulder and say that they help. Come on, folks. We got the money now. So don't let me talk. We got the money now. Let us support these initiatives properly. So the folks at AGDA and other cultural groups can put on a proper celebration for emancipation. Just the same y'all as do elsewhere. Watching for them big billboards. Come and measure all of them. And count them and measure all of them. We're watching for the big billboards with happy emancipation blazing across them. And do it nice. Right? Do it nice. Impressions. Don't do no cast work. See your boy run out. He hop out, he swim out. He said that they're going to be contributing to emancipation, but make a proper contribution. Make a proper contribution. I think it's only that. It's not only that. He's telling us how I see y'all boys say he's running for president. He don't declare, right? He ain't going to no election. It's long now. PP had an internal election. Right? You remember how it was decided first, but them are going back their way. They ain't going back their way because they don't know and it will be them. They don't know Frank Anthony will be them. Y'all remember Frank get the most votes the last time? Frank get the most votes the last time. They know Frank would be them. And it would be them. So Jack Gio run out early. He take first jump. He take first jump is what the headline said. President Ali has earned his position as presidential candidate. Oh, it's true. It's true. Same fella came out. Same fella. Rapper. Same fella. He's earned what? He has earned what? But we watching them, folks. We watching them. The chickens coming home to roost. I can't even like him free fall. Cost of living killing people. So now they're telling us how on some loans to poultry farmer, Ali run out with this. Run out with it. 3% reduction in interest rates for loans to poultry farmers. All the people catching the tail too with loans and one little percentage reduction. We get $1 billion in fertilizer. You get a 3%. Some people cannot yet, still holding pink slip in the hand. That is what it means to have this government in place. It's a pink slip government. You see, months later, people still get a pink slip, waiting and hoping. Every day, you hear Nako say, Sharon Doctrine will no quicker sees who. See if them girls come back. Got the pink slip. Pink slip. Pink slip government. You gotta watch them, man. You gotta watch them. Yeah, the man want presidency. Here from said he ready again. He ready. Why they running from internal party elections? Huh? Why they running? President Ali has earned his position as presidential candidate. Why they running from internal election, Donna Miller? If they're so confident, the quality candidate they have, put him up against Frank, put him up against Anil Nandilal. And you see, since Anil get a child, Anil firing now, you know. The evidence is there. The man firing. Anil is firing now. He would clean them up. They know why them putting him back to internal contest. Right? People have internal contest in like 10 years. Y'all who support them got to hold them accountable and to a higher standard. Y'all always looking in PNCR, know what happening, who resigning, who coming in, who going out, and all manner of things. But right inside y'all house, years now, y'all had an internal election. Why y'all frightened? If Jack is popular, right? And if Evan has done so well, why are you frightened to go to an internal election and let the party delegates and so on come from Crabwood Creek and them places, you know, when they come off of them cannabis and ganja and so on, put his case and be re-elected? Why not? Y'all play, y'all stupid. Monkeys know which limb for jump on. Monkey doesn't know which limb for jump on, folks. They close it tonight. I tell y'all, Roysdale got some things for talk. You see the Madia story there? That Madia story is problems. That Madia story, folks, it's problems, right? And we talk a little bit too. We're going to talk a little bit too on what's going on with this Nigel Damrell story. Folks, without further ado, the one and only senior counsel, the one and only senior counsel, the one and only, the minister, the shadow minister of legal affairs, attorney general, shadow minister, Roysdale Ford.
Thank you.
Senior Counsel Ford, a very good evening and welcome to the broadcast. We were showing our viewers a little earlier some what took place in Parliament there and the fact that the Speaker didn't want a minute's silence for the Madia folks. They have blundered this whole thing. Senior Counsel, a minute's silence? That's what we're fighting over in the National Assembly now?
Yes, Sharon. Thank you for inviting me to your show and thank you to your audience. I believe that demonstrates the decay in the society as a whole and the decay that is taking place within the halls of the National Assembly, particularly under the stewardship and the speakership of Manzoor Nadir. You know, Sherrod, if you pay attention to the meaning of Nadir, the name and the word, it means to be at a low level. And I believe
Seems like we're
that
there.
he is taking the National Assembly rather to exactly to that point. It's disturbing that the National Assembly and the Parliament of the country would find it objectionable for 1 minute of silence to 20 young persons who would have died at the hands of such a horrific incident and tragedy. What is it that the government expected? That we will proceed as if this event never occurred? It would never be recorded in the Hansard that this event took place? My colleague, members of parliament, and myself will not be part of the National Assembly where such an event would have taken place nationally, and it would not have made the pages of the Hansard for posterity. What the public would have been thinking right now, not those 10, 15, 30, 50 years from now, but what is it that the public would be thinking? That such an incident would have been blown over, covered up? And let us see what the government paid attention to at the commencement of that sitting, the 65th sitting. The government's focus, as it has always been, was on the money. It was on money and not people. And that is why, in the little clip that you would have played, I pointed out clearly that you're saying that the country is growing and the fastest growing economy in the world. You're saying that this bill that you brought, the reciprocal judgment bill, is about promoting business and development. But that stands in stark contrast to the insensitivity that you are seeking to demonstrate, and you would in fact would have demonstrated, to show that you caught up with money, you caught up with infrastructure, you caught up with roads, a jurisprudential system, a legal system, passing laws, but the suffering, the condition of the people must not be brought out into the National Assembly. They want the entire country to go to sleep, to forget about this incident. And that is why it is very disturbing that not only the speaker sought to prevent it, and he should be ashamed of himself. In any other progressive, decent, democratic society, today, Mansour Nadir would have submitted his resignation. But we have no standards, absolutely none. Anything goes. Once it is about money, once it is about infrastructure, once it is about the so-called roads that are going to be built. Those things mean nothing in this society currently that we're living in. The billions of dollars that are being spent have nothing to do with the impact and quality of the life that the ordinary Guyanese is enduring.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's runaway inflation. Children are dying. People are starving. The government is building massive roads, proposing to build more roads, building further roads, bridges across the country. That is their claim. We haven't seen much of it up to now. But at the same time, the tragedy of Guyana is encapsulated in the death of those 20 persons, those 20 young persons. That the promise that they possess has been snuffed out by a government that is insensitive, a government
Correct.
that is incompetent, and most of all, Sherrod, and I want the Guyanese people to understand this, their lives have been brought in by a government that does not even want to take responsibility for it. It is, you know, Sherrod, the next thing they would want to tell us is that this incident never actually occurred, you know.
Correct. Correct.
Because if you don't want it even to be acknowledged in the National Assembly, and you know, the architect of the government's settlement plan, together with most of the other government MPs, couldn't take the fact that such a matter was legitimately and appropriately dealt with in the National Assembly by myself and by my colleagues. They decided to walk out of the National Assembly on 1 minute of silence. This is the same Amerindian people, the same indigenous people that they want to say that they so love and they're so interested in. And you say this is the same people, Sherrod, that you want to spend 31 billion of the $31 billion that you got and you passed earlier, about less than an hour before, $4.6 billion. You want to give it out to them. There's a limit to money. And this government must understand that. $5 million per child is unacceptable. $3 million for what they consider to be a lifetime trauma is unacceptable. Mr. Nadalal couldn't sit there. He couldn't face it. He walked out to the National Assembly at the time. So these are the circumstances that are gripping this country, gripping the soul of this country, in which we're trying to put material things above the quality of life of the people. And this government is going to continue to do this until the Guyanese people tell them, by way of election, by any other legitimate means, that this is unacceptable and they've had enough.
You know, it's very, very interesting how this administration operates. Here in the Turk and Caicos Islands, you have an opposition that's almost been decimated by the now government, and part of what is credited to that is the handling of COVID-19. So you have 14-1, 14 members of government to one opposition member. But even in that scenario, much like Barbados, there is still consultation, whether with the opposition or in addition to the opposition, with national stakeholders, civil society. You know, you wouldn't think there's a one-seat majority our government has, the way they operate. It's mind-boggling.
Well, Sherrod, that goes to the political DNA of the PPP. And the PPP has always been on a march towards absolute domination. They believe that it is their birthright, it is their right to govern this country in any manner that they consider it necessary to do, and there must be no opposition at all. Sherrod, could you imagine that in this country, whilst this sort of economic development that is taking place, there's a complete breakdown of democracy at the same time? They don't want to speak about this, but the barometers and the measurements of that are clear. We could look to see what is happening in the judiciary. The failure to appoint or the failure to engage in consultation in relation to the appointment of the Chancellor and Chief Justice. We went to court. The court would have ruled that the president is in breach of the Constitution and he must immediately engage in that process. We saw the collapse of the Police Service Commission, the failure to appoint and constitute properly the Police Service Commission and the Judicial Service Commission and the Public Service Commission. And when they decide to fill them, Sherrod, and constitute them, they decided that the only way to effectively do so would be to put the PPP people in all the positions.
Mm-hmm.
When we look to see what is happening in civil society, you know, Sherrod, it was as if we were communicating on this issue. I read the Jamaican newspapers, I think yesterday it was, and there was an article, I think, believing in the Jamaica Gleaner, on the role of the Jamaica Council of Churches in relation to the Integrity Commission over there. And the Jamaica Council of Churches, headed by the Most Reverend, decided that they're going to issue a public statement because the government wanted to have the integrity legislation amended and to have their role diminished. And the church came out with a strong statement. I don't see a cohesive approach by the religious bodies in this country, by the church. We don't see it by the Hindu community. We don't see it by the Muslim community. We don't see the trade unions coming out in one united voice. We don't see the business community coming out in one united voice. So the playing field that is left is one in which it is a situation where the only organization that is standing up in protection of the Guyanese people, in protection of democracy, in protection of the values that you spoke about of consultation and the ability to guide this country in a united way, not this fabricated, wishful thinking thing about one Guyana, is the opposition.
Correct. Agreed, Senior Counsel Ford. Agreed. And this government don't seem to be learning at all. And one only has to read today's, yesterday's Sabbath News editorial for a wide sweep of many of their indiscretions where this is concerned. But Senior Counsel Ford, as you hear and as I have your attention on this matter, I'd love to pick your brain on what's happening with the whole Dharmlal issue and all the contortions. As you may have known, and as you may know, this alleged victim, the 16-year-old, who initially had claimed to be sodomized and raped by the former minister, now says the whole thing never happened. But for many folks, this is very, very staged. For many folks, this is very, very bizarre to see a 16-year-old out there by her parents. The whole look of the thing smacks a PR hatchet job by the PPP. What are your thoughts?
Sherrod, I believe that is a farce. That is my personal opinion. But I would like to take your audience back to when the situation first came out in public and we started the protest with other members of civil society. I came out on the protest line. You were there. We were there. And I specifically indicated to the public that I was there because I felt, not because Dharamlal did it necessarily, because I am not in a position to make that judgment, and I can't make that judgment. I wasn't there because simply I wanted to score political points. I was there because this was a young woman who was making a very serious allegation against a man, much less a government minister. And one of the concerns that I articulated and expressed very early in the civil society's response to what was going on was the fact that I feared that the investigation will not be fair and transparent. And within a month and a half, Sherrod, I fear that, and the public has come to the conclusion, and I have to come to the conclusion, that there was substance in my concerns. When you would have seen from the commencement the involvement of the Guyana police force in seeking to have the young lady not proceed with her complaint, I believe it was the divisional commander of Region 2 and his intervention, that was an early indication as to the fact that this must not go forward. And the
Correct.
DPP
Correct.
was seeking to influence at a very early stage the ending and the demolition of this complaint, this very serious complaint against this government minister. We saw the stages where the young lady was kept in custody. I said custody, where she was a state ward, effectively. We saw the complaints by Mr. Ramjatan and the concerns about her family to access her and to be able to engage in her having access to a lawyer. We would have seen the complaints by the society as a whole in terms of how it was evolving. You would have seen the involvement of the DPP, who would have indicated that this is a very important matter and she has many important matters to deal with. But suddenly thereafter, we learned that she had, in fact, probably at the same time that press statement was going out, would have looked at the statement, looked at the statements in the file, and concluded that it wasn't sufficient. We would have seen Mr. Ramjatan coming out publicly and indicating that based on his years of experience, and Mr. Ramjatan is no easy lawyer, he's no lightweight, he was a serious and prosecutor, an employee of the DPP, who came to the conclusion that this was a strong case of sodomy and the allegations had merit. Then we saw the complete collapse and the sudden issuance of a statement by the crime chief that there was no further statement or action that the young lady wished to take. We know at the point now, Sherrod, where the young lady has now seemingly backpedaled.
Mhm.
I believe, Sherrod, that I have started to encapsulate in a very short way a number of different steps that when you step back, you could see the entire dance, which was one simply to end this complaint. But Sherrod, there's no substance to the complaint being ended. The young lady could come forward and say to the public 1,000 times that she is withdrawing her complaint. They had no substance. But Sherrod, can you imagine your daughter is in the custody of the state for weeks at end for something that have no substance? You could imagine, Sherrod, that you're having to allegedly visit the president and vice president and the ministers of the government in relation to a sexual assault, a brutal sexual assault, and it never really happened. Sherrod, you with us? The Child Protection Agency, the statutory body that's supposed to take care of children, and I guess they did it in their way, in the best way, being involved, and nothing really happened. You could imagine, Sherrod, that the police force engaging in a whole investigation in something that never ever happened. And most importantly, Sherrod, there were private entities involved. There was Blossom Inc.
Correct. Child link.
established and ChildLink, established advocates and protectors of children interests. So all of this happened, and it never really happened. The police take this young lady allegedly to the place where this thing took place, and you went down by Torganol, you know, and you brushing up your house and fixing it up, and she complaining, and nothing never really happened. The PPP must understand. that whilst the Guyanese people will not always say how they feel, they're not jackasses by any stretch of the imagination. And what we really would have seen, Sherrod, in this pantomime that would have taken place here is the ability of the government to take control of the Guyana police force, to influence apparently decisions of the director of public prosecution. We would have seen the ability of the government, to, despite such a horrendous and heinous allegation, to get to the victim and to get to her family. But most importantly, Sherrod, we see an insensitive, corrupt, wicked government whose only concern is not about the young girl. Like the 20, she could have burnt up. She's disposable.
Yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
message that is being sent by this entire unfortunate situation. That
That
the
is
Amerindian people are disposable. They have
yeah.
little value and little respect is being shown by this government to them. And if the Amerindian people want more of this contempt, of this disdain, they will get more. But they must understand to stop it. They must first stand up in the communities, organize in the communities, understand that anything that the government gives them, they are entitled to it. These are not the days of 1492. Nobody is not coming to give you nothing because they like you. You are entitled to it. You're a citizen of the country and you're entitled to it. And you must understand that that is the first process for breaking the control that the PPP think that they have over you. You know, when you want to measure if somebody have respect for you, Sherrod, it's not how they speak to you necessarily. It's when you're not around how they treat your children.
Correct. Correct.
You
Correct.
can't go and drop your children by me and say, Uncle Roysdale is a good man. We look after, we good friends, we in parliament together and so. And you call me and say, Sherrod, Roysdale, on my way back, I get into an accident, I can't come back and collect these children. Tonight, the wife out of town, you got to look after them. And I said, cool, Sherrod, I got them here. And you come back 2 days later, you children in bed, they eat nothing,
Mhm.
they're hungry.
Mhm.
Plus, on top, they get me vexed and I beat them up, lash them up in the head. And then when you come and collect them, you tell me, thank you, Mr. Ford. Thank you, Roger, for looking after them for me.
Yeah.
Well, what nonsense is that?
Yeah. And I say I care.
I care. And
Yeah.
we care. That is what is going on.
Yeah.
And that
Fictions.
is not happening only in relation to the Amerindian people. That is happening across the country in many different ways. In many different ways. When you look at what is happening in the Indian communities, Sherrod, the predominantly Indian communities that historically would have voted for the PPP, those people are there being beaten by the economic collapse of this country. The economy is running away, yes, it's running away. But your salary is running with it, your condition of life running with it and improving with it. How are you benefiting from the billions of dollars that the PPP is siphoning off to the friends and families? In the African communities, let us examine it. How are you benefiting? How are you benefiting from this wealth? How, when they pass through there and they drop a 10,000, a little raise, how are you benefiting?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Sherrod, the majority of the Guyanese people came to the conclusion, especially during the local government election period, that they will take their money. And I support that. You take their money, but understand that you're not obligated to them. And you vote against them. So the people are wising up, Sherrod.
Thankfully. Yep. Yep. Thankfully. Senior Counsel Ford, I really want to thank you on such short notice for spending this time with us and always bringing clarity to these issues as only you can. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Sharon. And thank you for your audience for listening. I'll be back soon once Sharon invites me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon.
All right, folks, there you have it. There you have it. Share the live, smash that emoji button. I want to thank Senior Counsel for joining us this evening. And I want to thank you guys as well. 3,000 of you still watching us, and it's 9:23 where we are. 9:20, I think we're still in the same timeline. 9:23, 3,000 of you across social media. Well, 3,000 alone on Facebook. Sorry, we got 4,500 watching us currently, folks. Share the live, smash that emoji button. You almost real love politics. 4,500 of you watching us across social media, 3,000 alone on Facebook, folks. Share the live, smash that emoji button, partner with us as well. We can't bring up all the graphics this evening. We are operating with minimal equipment. Where we are, guys. Minimal. Share the live, smash that emoji button, folks. Thanks for joining us for the various places at home and abroad where we are. We foreign, folks. We foreign. See you guys on the next broadcast. Take care. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. I see Mavis Henry is there. Frank is there, Mackenzie, Melinda Mackenzie is there, Shanat Sicharan Mohan. Good to see you guys. Good to see Robert King, and I see Blondies as Blondes, Barker, and Auntie Sandra Hanover has joined us as well. Good to see you, Auntie Sandra. And I see Alison Cortez is here. Karen Mohammed is here as well. Folks, share the live before you go so that others can get valid, incredible information as well. Rosetta, good to see you. Avella Farrell, Gwyneth Anderson, good to see you. Guys, have a great evening. Stay fired up and ready to go. Folks, you got to watch them, boys. Please and thank you. You got to watch them. That's going to do it for us at this end. Stay safe and have a fantastic rest of the evening. Stay safe, guys. That's our time and that's our program.